Welcome. This is an actual play of a role-playing game. All the participants are adults. The content is intended for adult viewers. We strive to keep the content PG to PG-13, but it is a horror story and may contain horror themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy. Howdy, friends and floorheads. It is Sunday afternoon for a long overdue third episode of WEBWORLD. If you've not watched the first two episodes, I recommend you do that. But let me give you a quick reminder of where we are. We're in a bad spot. We found Freddie, who had a hut with some provisions, some like electricity in the middle of the city. Unfortunately for Freddie, we brought chaos with us. That included ultimately a huge tarantula spider that is now on fire, thanks to Joey. And we were feeling pretty good, right? You know, we burning up the spider, everything's great. And then we realized that there's a huge jumping spider that has just now brought its leg down, almost hitting Vince. Vince has pulled out his shotgun, and that's where we went to credits, and that's where we're going to start. Mechanically, real quick, we're in a new area. So the what is it called?
Webscape.
The webscape is brand new. So Willow, what is our new webscape?
The new area will happen in a minute, but the new webscape is 1, 3, and 7.
1, 3, and 7, which means as we roll for our skill checks, we do not want to roll a 1, 3, or a 7 during that process. We've also reset our die pool, so I've got 9 d8s to work with. How many does Vince have?
I got 8.
You've got 8. Jenny?
6.
And Joey?
10.
Oh, beautiful. See, we're fine.
We're ready.
We're absolutely fine. The person who's created WEBWORLD is our GM or our world weaver. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Willow.
You all stand in the nestled park, sparks igniting the webs above, the fire cascading into the sky. Freddy shouts, a great hairy limb crashing into the earth. Who had the guns again? Sorry.
Vince.
Vince pulls the trigger. The gun fires, pellets separating through the air. At the leg, more shouting. The film crackles and breaks, reels bubbling as the screen itself catches fire. It runs out, and there's blackness. A moment, then a click, numbers counting down. 4, 3, 2. The scene appears. You're all sat in a large black helicopter hovering above New York. Below you, the ground is alive. White, chitinous creatures scurry over buildings and streets like a sea of legs. Nearby, too close, the big black spider hovers over the city, its legs like skyscrapers as it looms, mandibles waving. More fires have spread now below, lighting up the metropolis like the world's most fucked up fireworks show if the fireworks are full of spiders. In the cockpit, Hicks calls back. We're on our way to Lady Liberty, just over there. Freddy sits in one of the seats. He's carrying his cat. His chicken is nowhere to be seen, and he's got his bag of mushrooms. The helicopter winds through the air towards Liberty Island. Large webs cover the Statue of Liberty, but below them, a small hole has been cut out onto the island where webs have been burnt away by the looks of it. And a camp, tents litter the island, people shuffling around. Behind the island is an enormous cargo ship with the Survivor written on the side. The helicopter lands on the island in a large open space, and several army men run up. Hicks gets out and turns to you all. This is our point B camp. You guys are welcome to make yourself at home. We'll be leaving in the morning. And by leaving, I mean everyone here. I need to go and sort a few things out. He wanders off as the helicopter powers down.
Bear goes, Hicks, how about the older couple that we brought with us that we left back at your Camp A, I would guess? In the subway?
Yeah.
Where are they?
I don't know exactly, but they should be here. Everyone from Camp A is here. Well, mostly everyone. Few people, we lost them in the tunnels.
There was something wrong with Camp A? It got overrun?
No, we just we need to move everyone to this camp for a reason I can't tell you about. Sorry.
There's classified information during the spider apocalypse? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Hicks.
Are we getting on the ship?
Yeah, you will be in the morning.
Okay.
So Hicks, what do we do between now and then?
Get yourself something to eat. There's a tent over there. More soup if you can stomach it. You guys are welcome to mill around. Like I said, I need to go and sort some things out. And he sort of makes his way over to the base of the Statue of Liberty, and you can see that Sergeant James is there, and he sort of ushers him inside, and they both go inside.
I still don't trust him. Something doesn't make sense, but we need to find our friends. So I guess this tent's our best bet.
See if we can find Bob and George.
Yeah.
And well,
Freddie like turns to you and goes, "That was some crazy shit you guys did back there. How did you guys do that?"
Oh well, if you aim for the moon, you might hit a star. So
I'm hoping we hit a spider, but I guess the star's fine.
Yeah, that was such a Ginny thing to say. I loved it. That was awesome.
Yeah, Freddie, we've just been lucky. We've been really lucky, and you know, I would not want to be. Go ahead.
That thing that you guys did with the truck, that was incredible. And I mean, I get why you had to sacrifice my chicken, but wow.
Honestly, I did not realize how well Joey understood when you combine chicken bones in a combustion engine. That was a complete surprise to all of us.
Sometimes you're going to break some eggs, and sometimes those eggs are going to be in the chicken.
yeah.
You guys should be writing this stuff down. This is incredible. Pause. Full disclosure. I don't remember Freddie's voice, so I'm making him sound like this.
He's still Freddie.
That's yeah.
I sure am.
So yeah, what I think what we're going to want to do is go to the tent where we have the best chance of finding George and Barb.
So as you guys are wandering into the camp, a very clean-looking cowboy kind of wanders up to you. He's wearing like a white suit with cowboy boots, and he's got a big Stetson. And he charges up to the most important person looking there. Who would be the most important looking person in this apocalypse?
I think Vince.
If anything, Vince is going to see that and immediately think, "Oh, here's the next sale." Right? He's got that kind of thought, like, "Oh, this guy means money," and I'm just going to go introduce myself.
He marches up to you and he holds out his hand and he goes, newcomers to the camp, welcome. My name is Thaddeus Sawyer. Welcome. Come in, make yourself as a home.
Well, Thad, my name is Vince Offer. How you doing?
Please call me Thad.
Hi, Thad. Thank you for this very warm welcome. As you know, we just arrived, but we're looking for some friends of ours who probably also they came from Camp A. George and his wife Barb, an elderly couple. She's blind. Makes the best apple pie that you've ever dreamt of.
I sure did have some of that apple pie. She made it up in my in my kitchen, up in my big ship up there. Yeah, I've already loaded them on board. They're safe. Don't worry about that.
So you're the captain of this ship?
Well, yeah, Captain. I mean, I bought it. What you city folk might call a prepper. This is my bunker. I was preparing for this, though my money was on gigantic birds, so I was slightly off the mark there.
I look at Bear because Bear is a self-proclaimed prepper,
Yeah.
and these guys are like night and day. It's like,
So Bear kind of, you see the reaction on my face, when I hear that, and now I need to figure out, because there's many different types of preppers, and some of them aren't real preppers, right? So I walk up to Thad and I go, now are you more of the AWW prepper, or are you more of a TTY prepper?
I'm more of the I have a lot of money, and I know that the government cannot be trusted. So I'm going to use that money in any way I see fit to, ensure my own and people like me's own survival. Now,
I turn to you guys and go, we're good.
how does he keep his hat so clean and under these conditions? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like shining white.
Well,
We're just like grimy and dirty.
It's mighty hospitable of you, Thad, allowing us all to join you on that ship.
Well, this here bunker's got a good 4 years of food on board, all canned, plus a farm for future survival. Though I hear the army just want a quick trip up to Alaska, so I'm more than happy to oblige that.
Is that what we're going to be doing, Thad? Is heading up to Alaska?
Yeah, has no one told you? Apparently, Alaska's clean as spiders. Too cold.
Okay, so and are we heading to Alaska via the Panama Canal?
We're gonna circle around the country here.
Cape
The North Passage.
Anchorage, to be exact.
Oh.
So I lean into Bear, and I'm like, so what's in it for him? This can't be just, to save humanity. There's something in it for him.
So, Joey, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Everybody thinks us preppers are a bunch of self-centered wackos. But what they don't understand is we're preparing to save the world, not just us. So he's just a good man like me.
All right. Well, you keep trusting him, and I'll stay here. And
Oh, I never said I trusted him, Joe.
Oh, all right.
I just understand him.
Okay. Fair
Vince
enough.
leans in and kind of goes, he's also a Texan, you can tell. And just kind of steps back. That should explain a lot of the
Great
narcissism
insight,
out of
Vince.
him. Yeah.
But I will turn to Jenny and go, you let us know if you sense something weird on him. I think you're more of a people person than the three of us combined.
So
far as-
Thad, I'm sorry.
No.
I was gonna say, Thad, you got plenty of gasoline on that ship, though, right?
Please call me Thad. Yeah, of course I have.
Apparently he's a little hard of hearing too.
Okay. And Thad,
Yes.
what you haven't had any issues with the underwater spiders?
Oh, I've had plenty of issues. Yeah. I've had to throw a few of these, and he kind of like walks over to a table, and there's a big like a kind of like a company sized what would be the word here? Not a grappling hook, like an underwater sort of
Spear gun.
Like a harpoon?
Yeah, like a spear gun, like
Yeah.
a big harpoon. And he goes, yeah, I've got a few of these loaded onto the hull of my ship there, all remote.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
it
And I'm
doesn't
gonna-
pierce them, but it definitely makes them sting, makes them swim away.
I'm going to point to it and go, Thad, you mind if I take a look?
No, by all means.
So
They're a
I'm
dime a
gonna
dozen.
go over there and just check it all out. Just going, man, this is so cool. And just looking at all his gear.
You are, I thought I'd met people who were prepared, but you really you're really prepared for everything.
Like I said, giant birds.
Damp as well. Yeah. Well, they might come. Perhaps they'll come and eat the spiders, and then we'll be prepared for the birds.
Oh, I'm waiting. I know they're coming.
But Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah, I've got myself an oil refinery up there, so I'm more than happy to take your folks that ways. Got to check on my flock, if you get my meaning.
Of Of course.
So, Thad, we got a sense of how many people we're talking? How many people are going to be on that boat?
Well, there's a good sort of 200 loaded on already. Maybe around this camp, another 80. Plus you guys. 84?
It's good.
284.
Not too
And
bad.
Thad,
He's
is there
good at-
anything
he's
that
good at
we can
math.
do to help to we want to contribute, of course, as well.
Oh, no, you don't worry. We've got the army men. They're loading up the boat. Everyone's going to get on board. I mean, you can go and find yourselves a cabin if you like. Make yourselves at home. That's how you can help.
Oh well, thank you.
Thad, I gotta ask, where can I get some supplies here? I'm looking for some 12 gauge for protection, if you catch my drift.
No, I don't abide by guns. Of course I abide by guns. There's a whole armory up on that shit.
So I have permission to get some shells from you, boss?
Yeah, help yourself. Just as long as you know, leave some for the rest of us.
So I'm going to turn to the three of you and go. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's go just check in on Barb and George, and then I think I'd like to be on that ship today versus getting just loaded with the cattle tomorrow. If you know what I'm saying.
That sounds like a good idea, and then we can also check out the lifeboats. Just be prepared. Make sure that we know where we know how to get on, we know how to get off, and find some cabins close to each other.
I do agree that being on the water is we got a better shot than on land.
I turn to Vince and I say, "You realize, Vince, that we'd be dead if it wasn't for her. I think she might be the brains."
Yeah. Nothing spoken, just kind of
Yeah.
visually agreed.
All right. So we are going to check in on Barb and George to make sure they're okay, and then try to get on the ship.
Thad like sort of gestures, like a sort of non-bow bow, and goes, "I'll leave y'all to it." And he has like a white handlebar mustache, and he kind of twiddles it and tips his hat and walks away.
Beautiful.
Okay. And as we walk to the ship, I look to the others and say, he kind of reminds me of the Monopoly guy. Or is
I
that
was
just
thinking-
me?
No, I was thinking Monopoly guy crossed with Colonel Sanders and a little touch of Yosemite Sam.
I was thinking Boss Hogs from Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah,
Deep
why-
cut,
long-
nice.
white
Convertible
suit.
Cadillac,
Yeah, white suit, white hat.
Longhorns on the front of the Cadillac.
I can't believe how white his hat is. It's amazing.
As he walks away, he's actually got spurs on his shoes, and they clink.
Wow.
Of course he does.
Yeah. So it does seem like a bit of a wonderful, I don't know if that's the right word, but the combination of the military and this guy, I'm a bit surprised that the military is just, they haven't commandeered it.
Jenny, we need to make sure we know where the lifeboats are.
Yeah. And I'm still a bit wondering about how this is New York, right? So how are we going to get from New York to Anchorage?
I'm trying. Is Cape Horn off of the South American?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh yeah. So I think
Yes.
I doubt we can make it through the Panama Canal. So I think
Mm.
we're gonna have to go all the way around Cape Horn.
Oh, well,
But that's a big ship.
That's a big ship, and it's got a lot of food. So, and he said he knows how to deal with the swimming spiders. And I can imagine that, if we're going to be out at sea, we'd only have the swimming spiders, or the extremely, extremely, extremely big ones. But then we'll probably be too small to notice. I wonder if there are still whales and dolphins, or I don't know. It's been a long time since I was on a boat. Well, not that long. I mean, a couple of days ago, but that one sunk. So let's hope this one doesn't. And let's find out where the lifeboats are. I want a cabin near the lifeboats.
All right, there is a gangway up to the ship. There's also the rest of the camp. You guys are totally welcome to explore Liberty Island.
Yeah, I think our main focus is to try to make sure we find Barb and George, to make sure that they're safe. I don't think we're gonna bring them with us, but I get the feeling that we're anxious to check out this cargo ship.
And that they're already on the ship. I think he said that they're on
Oh,
the
they
ship
are.
already. Yeah, they're already on
Oh,
there.
okay.
So
That
I
makes it
think
easy.
that's the future. That's the play. This is our ticket out of here. So let's get on board.
And he
be
told us to
ready.
go pick a cabin.
Yeah.
All right, you guys make your way onto the ship up this gangway. There's occasionally sort of army men kind of leaning against stuff, talking on radios, smoking cigarettes. There's survivors kind of milling around. A couple of them going up the gangwalk, a couple of them coming down. You guys make your way up to the deck of the ship, and there's like crates, like big kind of industrial shipping containers everywhere. Some of them are open, some of them are shut. The open ones, you can kind of see that there's bigger. Oh, there's like small boats inside a few of them, like full on kind of fishing vessels rather than lifeboats. There are a couple of inflatable lifeboats kind of dotted around as well. And there's a big crane to kind of move shipping containers. In one of them, you see that there is an enormous stockpile of beans in cans. In another one, you see that there's these harpoon guns, kind of in crates. The crates are labeled.
Vince is going to go up and try to act as if he owns the place, and he's going to take one of those harpoon guns and see if he can't get away with just slinging it across his back and walking around with it.
Yeah, one of the army men kind of gives you a look, but they don't stop you.
Add one harpoon gun. Where's my pen?
Let's see. Can we see where the cabins are? Is that at some particular part of the ship, or does it look like it's
There's
below
there's
decks?
some there's an entrance into the sort of internals of the ship, and there's some signage, and the signage tells you that in one direction is the is sort of control, in the other direction there it just says engine, and then there's brig, there's cabins A to Z, and then there's like obviously like signs that didn't come with the ship that have been affixed, but they're like really nicely kind of etched into steel, and they say farm and kitchens and armory.
So I think we should go pick our cabins. We want a cabin near the stairs so we can get up deck real quick. Joey, I don't know if you have any interest in seeing if this thing is got an engine that's worth a shit.
Well, what I was gonna do is I'm gonna go to wherever they're storing the spirits, and I'm gonna find the most flammable and make a couple of Molotov cocktails and find a nice, good JanSport backpack. That's gonna be my go bag. But that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna look around if I see anybody with a clipboard or somebody who might be taking inventory or registering who's going in what cabin or that type of thing. Because I mean, it looks like if we're gonna knock on every cabin door, this isn't gonna work. So,
And you do know I have to like drink some out of the bottle
of course,
before I
make room.
stuff the rag in. Like, it's just part of making it.
I think Vince is gonna kind of mention to the group, find something safe and secure and near the stairs, like you said. But I'm gonna go get my eyes on some of these boats right now. I'm gonna check both the starboard and the aft, left and right, whatever that means, and try to figure out which boat is best and most taken care of, and maybe has the highest, biggest capacity for fuel, etc. That is we know which one to go to if we need to get the hell out of here. So I'm going to stay above.
see if you can find one of those sometimes they have one of those lifeboats, which is kind of like this plastic cylinder that just drops off. That's the quickest, best way off a boat. I mean, if we're going to need to use a crane, see if you can find that one that they just drop off and then. So yeah.
Will do.
So, and wonderful news for Willow. It sounds like the four of us are splitting up.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like it.
I'm gonna try to find us a cabin. Jenny is gonna try to find a roster. Joey's gonna go find some booze, and Vince is gonna check out the boats.
Okay, so we'll go in order of people that spoke out about it. So, Joey, you head down to the kitchens. There's people. There's like there's a hall basically, and there's a multitude of stovetops and ovens, and then there's kind of there's about 4 huge walk-in freezers, and then there's like storage area for food. There's a couple of people sort of cooking. There's some people sitting on there's like a big kind of trestle table down the middle of the hall, and there's some people sitting and eating. And you see character names. George. You see George.
Okay.
And Barb.
Yeah, sorry.
And Barb is very sort of very happily cooking like in one of the ovens, and George is kind of leant against the counter, and there's about 4 apple pies next to George. Just full apple pies.
Barb, that is amazing. I haven't smelled apple pie since I don't know when this whole thing started.
George turns around and goes, Joey? Joey, is it?
Yes. Yeah, remember.
Oh, I thought I'd never see you guys again. I thought you guys died. There was
What? With me around? There's no way. There's no way.
I mean, that explains the explosion.
Hey, we're all here now, and oh man, is there any way I could get one of those amazing apple pies, Barb, to bring back to the rest of the group? Because we all made it. They're all here. Jenny.
Marcus, that's excellent. No, you can't have one of those, but you can have this one because it's fresh.
Oh, fantastic.
And she pulls out a hot apple pie.
I put it in my JanSport backpack.
It is instantly very warm against your back.
So George, have you heard about the whole plan here? Like what's going on?
Not the whole plan. I mean, there's something that the army men aren't telling us that seems to be very important. But I know that we're leaving for Alaska, and by the sounds of it, it's spider free. So,
all right, we're gonna keep that dream alive for the two of you, and I'm very thankful they're here. I can report back. I'll let everyone know you guys are well. Where are you guys staying? Do you have a room?
We are in. We picked cabin F2, I believe it was.
F2. Perfect. I'm sure some of the others might stop by later just to say hi. But so great to see you guys. Great.
And hey, and he pulls out like a range of cigars. I don't know if you guys have met this Thaddeus guy, but he's brilliant. Cigar?
Sure. I'll take one of Dad's cigars.
They're like big, thick, kind of Cuban cigars.
Of course they are. Obnoxious. Yeah. Doesn't even fit. Like it's like half, like out of my pocket. I can't even put it in my pocket. You know what? I take it and it's so big, I just break it in half and I shove both halves in the pocket.
Smart.
I'm not going to walk
it.
around this. All right. And the last thing I want to do is I bid them adieu, and then I know usually in commercial kitchens they keep extra igniters for the stoves, electronic clicking igniters. So yes. I rummage around and I find where they have the parts, and I grab a few of those.
You know what? I'm going to say give
possible.
me a check.
Yeah.
Give me a mind check.
Mind check. Excellent.
So while they put it together. A quick reminder on the mechanics. So we have stats in these 4 categories. What do you have in mind, Joey?
I have 5. I'm a pretty
So-
smart dude.
And then we've got this pool of d8s. So Lou's gonna be able to take his mind score plus whatever he rolls, but he gets to pick how many dice he's going to use. Now it seems like it'd be really easy, right? Because on a 7 to 10 cumulative total, he's got a mixed success, 11 or 13 a success, and then a perfect success of 14. So why not grab a ton of dice? So there's a few reasons. One, if we roll on the webscape, things get worse. So if he rolls a 1, 3, or 7 now, things are going to get worse for us, not better, even on a success. Also, if he rolls 4 dice and gets a success, he only gets 1 back. If he rolls 4 dice and still ends up 6 or below, which is possible, then he gets none of the dice back. And the only way we can reset those dice is with a new scene or a chance to rest. So how many dice are we going to use, Lou?
I'm thinking 3, but will it remind me on what I'm rolling against, what number I'm trying to hit?
So 6 or below is a failure, 7 to 10 is a mixed success, 11 to 13 is a success, and 14 to 16 is a perfect success. Anything above is also a perfect success.
You know what? I'm going to roll 2 dice because 7 to 10, I already have 5. So this is not extremely important, and I don't want to waste too many dice. That is a wonderful thing. That is a 5 and a 4. That is not on the scape.
Nope.
So that's a 14.
Yeah, you
Perfect.
not only do you find a drawer with a multitude of spare parts for ovens in there, you also find a door next to the drawer, and opening it slightly, you see a fully stocked bar inside.
Excellent. So I load up, and I am very happy, and my bag is ready to go with the apple pie in it.
Yeah. Right, so over to Naomi.
Jenny's going to kind of look around and see if she can find somebody who seems to be managing things or in charge or keeping an overview, because it seems like it's all seeming very friendly and very chaotic, but there's so many people here that there needs to be some type of order.
So you see Thaddeus come up the gangplank, and he's making his way directly towards the staircase that leads to the control area.
Okay, so I move towards Thaddeus. I'm like, Thaddeus, one moment.
He stops. He just like spins on his heel and goes, "Why, hello there. Oh, it's you. Yeah, of course. What can I help you with?"
I'm so sorry to bother you, but I have a quick question before we just start randomly, picking a cabin. And we don't want to, of course, infringe on somebody else who might have picked it, and we'd like to see where our friends have gone. Is there is somebody keeping a register, or?
I mean, I haven't really thought about keeping a register for people because I wasn't expecting this many people to get loaded into my bunker, but I've just told people, there's a small. I've left some chalk in the hallway, just X when you claim a dorm, and that's that one. That's the claimed one.
Okay,
don't go in there.
I understand you've been a bit surprised by how many people are joining you on board.
Yeah, I mean the army came to me. They managed to save so many people. I just figured that everyone was dead.
Oh well. So, how long have you been on? You've been on the boat the entire time?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't in New York on the boat. I came up from Florida, and made my way up. I repeat, do not go to Florida.
Okay. Well,
really good advice.
Even before the apocalypse.
I was going to say
Even
before
before
or
the
after
apocalypse.
apocalypse.
You have
Sorry,
more rights in
Floridians.
Florida now after the apocalypse.
okay. So it's. I mean, well, you're being such a gracious host, but again, let me know if I can help with anything here on board, or.
Yeah, can you change the Floridian laws on solar panels? It's ridiculous down there.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm probably sure that they're not applicable anymore. So,
True.
yeah. So, but well, thanks a lot. And again, if I can help with anybody or with anything, definitely let me know, and I'll go. Well, see you around. It's a big ship, but
You know what? You can help me by seeing me around. And then he kind of turns on his heel and walks off to the cabin, off to the control.
and I'm like, geez, I thought I was perky. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a bear and a piece of chalk.
All right. So let's go for Bear. You're making your way down to the cabins. You make your way down the steps. There's kind of A to F, and then all the rest in the opposite direction.
And I assume I would have figured out the chalk thing pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's like a large pod of chalk just below the sign, and somebody's put a sticker on it, and it just says "Help yourself" with a big smiley face, and the smiley face is wearing a Stetson.
So I'm going to grab a piece of chalk. I'm going to find a cabin close to stairs, and then check out how realistic it is. Like, do I need to find 2 cabins, 4 cabins? Like, I'm not sure how many people are staying per cabin.
So you find sort of the first cabin you come to from the stairs is in the sort of B's. So there's a B52. So it goes from goes from 1 to 100 and then starts again on the next letter. So you find a B52, and it's not got an X on it, and you open it up, and inside there is there's 3 cabins, 3 beds per cabin, and there's a walk-in bathroom, there's some storage area, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I figure, you know what? I'll sleep on the floor. So I think this is enough for the 4 of us. I'm going to chalk it, and then what I'd like to do now that I've got a sense of where everybody's staying, where the X's are, how that all means, I feel like we've got our cabin. I want to see if I can figure out if there's any areas that we're not supposed to go, right? So is there any type of like doors that are unmarked? Do I see any military going to places? I'm going to start snooping.
You do not. Weirdly, there is not a lot of military on the ship. The majority of the military that you saw were positioned around the base of the Statue of Liberty, and they were actually kind of gesturing people away from the entrance at the base. You do see a lot of unmarked doors because it's a ship, and there's a lot of unmarked doors. Yeah, that's what you're working with here.
Yeah, and I'll snoop for a while, and if that ends up just taking me to a bunch of closets with mops in it, I think I'll probably try to then work my way back up deck, and I want to figure out who's running this show. Obviously Thad is, but Thad's not going to run the whole ship. As I've been by myself, kind of working my way through the hallways, there's just something that's bugging me. Like, this is too good, and Thad is too nice, and the military and rich people together has never been Bear's favorite combination. So I'm going to try to work my way back up.
All right. You make your way up, and you do see occasional military kind of on the top of the deck, and everyone you kind of talk to just refers you to Sergeant James as the leader of the show. He's kind of running the operation, and every time you kind of press what's going on, they go, "That's classified. Just make yourself at home."
Yep, exactly. Will do. Hopefully I run into Jenny.
Yeah, I think we run into each other fairly quickly, and I'm like, oh, B52. That's yeah, sounds good.
So, Jenny, how are we going to figure out what this classified stuff is?
I don't know. Look at it. It seems as if it looks as if all the activity is going on. Well, not on board. So,
Think we should go back to the camp, maybe?
well, I don't know. I'm just thinking, isn't this aren't we on a good thing? And getting out of here? I mean, I don't want to. I feel where you're coming from. It's all a bit, it's all a bit too convenient and stuff. But on the other hand, we've had such horrible luck for the past couple of months. Maybe this is our ticket out of here, and whatever they're doing in the Statute of Liberty, perhaps they're just rigging it to blow, that it'll blow, will go, and they're just, I don't know, nuking the entire place. And I mean, as long as that happens while we're heading out of it, I mean, what a
So
it's not as if this guy has got some kind of in conspiracy with the spiders,
well,
right?
so here's been my experience, Jenny.
Mm.
After spending a lot of time tracking what this government has done over the past 150 years, is always found that to figure out what they are not telling you, you look at what they're telling you, right? So what are they telling us? They're telling us we're going to get on this boat. We've got enough provisions. We've got enough room for everybody. We've got a destination with no spiders. So they're not trying to hide any of that. So the question is what would they be hiding? It's kind of like Roswell, right? That the reason we knew that the Soviets bred aliens that landed there is because of what they told us, not what they didn't tell us. So
But
what are they not telling us? What's left? Like,
well,
if
they're
they're going
not
to blow
telling
this
us
up,
what
don't
they're
they?
doing in the what they're doing in the Statue of Liberty. That's what they're not telling us. But again, Bear, do we need to know? I mean, just as long as we know how to get off this ship, how to get away, um, be prepared.
As you say the thing about Roswell, there's a kind of visually there'd be a cutaway to Thaddeus in the control room, and he's kind of fiddling with some controls, and then he just goes like this. He kind of looks up and goes, "Someone just said some very, very true things," and then it cuts back to you guys.
So Jenny, I get it, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I just, between the hormones that they put into the fluoride and the water, there's just things I don't trust, and it's just been my experience that I just don't. I'm thinking, I think we could maybe convene the four of us, and I'm wondering whether you're right about the Statue of Liberty, but I don't think we should leave this boat with our two friends on it. We should find
No. I say we stay. I think at this moment, this is probably the safest place. Vince is finding out how to get off it, to find it so that we've got a boat, so that we've got options. And Joey's probably making sure that we've got options to make sure that whatever we leave behind goes up in flames. So let's go find the others. Be prepared. And to be honest, I think I have no desire to go back to New York or Manhattan or whatever. So I prefer, let's just stay on the boat, but let's keep our eyes on whatever the others are doing, whatever those soldiers are doing. And let's see what this crazy billionaire prepper has made for us here.
All right, Jenny, I'll be a sheep, but I'm telling you right now, as soon as I hear those clippers start.
Yep.
All right, Vince, you are exploring upper deck.
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking at. I imagine this boat's one whole side is up against land or whatever. So if a boat were to be ejected off the side, it would just hit the docks or whatever. So I'm going to look at the ocean-facing side and start assessing what I'm seeing. What kind of evacuation boats are there here on this cargo vessel?
So as you look over that side, you can see that there's actually there's quite a lot of webbing kind of stuck to the side, and there were emergency boats there, but they are cracked in half and hanging and kind of webbed to the side of the ship. So clearly the ship got in a fight of some sort.
Is that the case on all sides of this ship?
No, just the side to the ocean. The rest of the sides, the webbing has been either burnt away or removed by hand.
But the boats are gone and broken and tattered?
The ones that were hanging were.
Okay. Is there a captain's quarters, command deck, an elevated area where officials would be?
Yeah, that's where Thaddeus headed.
I'm gonna stroll my way over and just try to listen and hear and try to act as if I belong and try to get in some conversations to figure out what the hell is going on here.
Yep. So you make your way up there, and the door to the kind of control room is propped open, and it's kind of in a horseshoe shape, with kind of the main kind of controls at the front, the bow of the horseshoe, and you can see there's a couple of army men kind of fiddling with controls, and Thaddeus is at the center, and he's also fiddling with controls, and occasionally he's kind of directing them, and then occasionally he's kind of like turning to them and going, You guys ever see Dukes of Hazzard or something like that?
I want to stay out of view, kind of outside that door, just trying to listen in for any kind of information about what's going on. And then if there's nothing going on, I'll probably just make my way in.
Yeah, so it's mostly just Thaddeus going, can you turn that knob there to the right? Or the show Preppers is completely faked?
Government actors.
Yeah.
Yes, government actors.
I'm going to walk on in and go talk to Thad.
He turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, good to meet you. Good to meet. Oh, we already met. Yeah, of course. Your
Yeah.
name was
Vince Offer. Nice to meet you again. And I'm going to get uncomfortably close because I want to pay attention to all of the gauges.
Yeah.
I want to see fuel fill or empty, red lights, trouble codes, check engine lights, ABS brakes, whatever. I'm looking for all of the lights that would flag if this boat is operational or not, or
So pretty much all of them are green. There's one that says engine room B that's kind of an amber. But the rest are kind of completely operational.
Fuel gauge isn't at E.
No, the fuel gauge is like weirdly completely full. Like Thaddeus has kind of filled this thing up recently.
Gotcha. Okay, and I'm just going to make stupid small talk about Texas and whatever. Yeah,
you're a bit close there, fella. I mean, it is nice to meet you, but it's not that nice.
just excited to meet you, sir. Thank you again for your hospitality. And I'm just making it long and drawn out, just looking at shit.
Of course.
And that I couldn't help but notice that these emergency boats off the side are broken and beat up and non-operational. What do we have any contingency plans on this?
Oh yeah, I mean the boats up on deck in the crates. That's my escape boats at the moment. I got in a little bit of a fight with some water spiders. You know how it goes, and yeah, I haven't had a chance to clean off that side yet. I've cleaned off the kind of the side that you guys can see. I didn't want to worry anyone that this ship was not working to 110%, which it is, I assure you.
Maybe he's not good at math.
Well,
you want a cigar? He pulls out like a sealed box of cigars. That just gives you the whole box.
Yeah. Thank you, Thad. Appreciate it. I grab it and say, "I'll be seeing you." Just with that funky look, like, what the hell just happened there? Like, who is this guy? And I'm gonna make my way back.
Wait! Before you go,
go ahead.
You ever seen the show Preppers?
Oh, have I seen the show Preppers? I pull out a copy of my Parkour in the Apocalypse book. I say, hey, this is what I used to sell before this, and I'm going to give you a copy right now. And I go ahead and give him a copy of my book.
He kind of pushes your hand back and goes, "You wrote Parkour in the Apocalypse?" And he opens his jacket and pulls out a copy. Would you mind signing this for me?
Oh, we need a session 3.5. That's nothing but this conversation. That's awesome. I go in and I sign it and I say, Thad, thank you for being one of my 7 buyers on this book. Now that we've got this relationship, what's really going on here, Thad? And I kind of give him the wink and the eye and the.
I mean, I appreciate it, and please call me Thad, but
Thad.
Yeah, like I said, call me Thad. There is nothing else going on here. I genuinely have built this bunker, and I am just vastly interested in the survival of the human species, and
right.
not the arachnid species.
All right.
And definitely not the giant bird species. Have you seen what they're putting in the water? You ever seen a rainbow? You know rainbows didn't exist over 100 years ago.
Love me some Thad.
Oh, I think Freddie gave him some mushrooms.
Yeah. I smell the cigars going, is this skunk weed instead of cigars? Like, what's going on here? All right. I say thank you, Thad, and I get the hell out of that control room.
Tips his Stetson to you and then goes back to kind of ordering around the military.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go try to find my group.
Yeah, you guys reconvene back on top deck, and I assume you guys exchange everything that you've learned.
Exchange all the information.
We are all eating apple pie right now.
Yeah,
we are exchanging apple pie.
There's a crate
smoking cigars,
smoking cigars and eating apple pie. So we got our cabin. And Vince, you couldn't get anything out of Thad. So Vince, did you get a sense? Like, do you think Thad doesn't know or is not talking?
I think Thad might be just ignorant to what the military might have under their sleeve. I think we need to be off this boat trying to get information and intel from these military folks over there.
Do we know when this boat's supposed to shove off?
They were saying tomorrow, so that's my hesitation is about. I think whatever the military's doing is, I think they're not doing it on the boat.
Jenny, I know you want to stay here safe, but I think the 4 of us need to go back down and find out what's going on inside of Ole Miss Liberty.
Yep, you're probably right.
I got our chalk mark on our cabin, so we're good there.
Yep.
I think we're gonna head back to Camp A or Camp B. And
all right, you guys.
I want to figure out where we're not supposed to go.
So you guys head down the gangplank. You kind of see Freddy run past, chasing his cat, and he goes, "Oh, hey guys, catch you around."
Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. It's
B-52. Find something near us.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we'll get drinks later. Sure.
Yeah. It's just enjoying solid land beneath our feet before we spend all that time on the water. Oh shit! I hope they've got seasick pills.
There's kind of a few army tents around, and there's some people kind of like sleeping in these army tents rather than on the ship. And there's one of them has got like a big trestle table with some soup. Everyone on the island and also on the ship, you notice, are being incredibly hushed. And though most of the webs have been burnt off of this small part of the island, there are still kind of strands every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And the Statue of Liberty itself is almost completely obscured by a web that kind of cascades down the back of it onto the edge of the water.
Does the military here still have some sort of a uniform that they're trying to adhere to? Is there some sort of thing that separates them from civilians?
Yeah, they're all wearing green scrubs. Well, not scrubs, rather. Kind of green
Fatigues.
military outfits.
Did we get the
Yeah, that's the
fatigues or
word.
did we keep our own? I can't remember.
You guys are also
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
fatigues.
Okay. So you're saying
Because
there's
we
a
were
chance.
drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vince, nobody can figure this out and find stuff better than you.
I look up at Lady Liberty and said, let's figure out how to get the hell inside this thing. I'm going to start approaching and keeping my head on a swivel. I'm trying to avoid people and beeline it to some sort of an entrance.
So the entrance to the base is completely guarded by a row of military who are kind of either leaning against the wall or smoking and standing in front of the door. And one of them kind of holds up his hand and goes, "Whoa there, soldier! You been asked to come over here?"
I pull out the case of cigars I just got from Boss Hogs, and I say, "Absolutely. Here's your cigars, Curry."
He
Good.
he takes them and goes, "Great, thank you. Anything else?"
Who was our guy? Was it Sergeant?
Sergeant
or-
James.
Yeah.
Sergeant.
Your friend, yeah, Sergeant James said, "You guys can take a break." That Thaddeus, Texas guy with a big hat is passing cigars all around. We've already smoked ours. So if you guys want to head out, we'll watch the door, make sure nobody gets in.
I'm gonna need a speech check.
All right, I'm not the person to take a speech check. We're really good at the worst person doing each of these. I got a 2 in speech.
I can definitely give one up.
I can assist as well.
All right, so I'm gonna do 4 all day, 2 of my own, plus 2, 1 from Vince, 1 from Jenny. Let's see how convincing we are. Yep.
So just a quick recap for people in the chat. You can assist by giving 1 dice to help someone out. You do not ever get that dice back.
All right, I've got a 9, 10, 15, plus my speech a 2, 15, 16, 17. And I have also a 3. So I've hit the webscape once.
That's great. So you kind of lean against the wall to talk to this guy, like seem more relaxed around him. And as you do, you lean on a web, and the web the web you lean on is very burnt, and it snaps and it twangs because it was obviously constrained, and it kind of hits into all the webs cascading down the Statue of Liberty, and you just hear like when you hear metal kind of rope snapping, you hear like a twang.
Damn it.
And the army man kind of looks up and goes, "Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, it checks out. Just don't do that again."
Yeah, no, I would think that you guys would have these marked better. But I'll put that in our report.
Okay, and don't
All right,
forget to
just,
stop by the kitchen. Our friend Bob has made apple pie.
There's this kind of much shorter, quite wider army man, and he kind of stops leaning against the wall and goes, "Apple pie."
Very,
you say?
very, very good apple pie. So just tell Bob Jenny sent you, and you'll get an extra piece.
Oh, I will. Come on, guys. And he takes off a half jog, half run towards the ship, and all the other army men kind of go, "All right, I guess," and kind of get up and shoulder their weapons and head over after him.
Okay, look left, look right. And I don't think we leave anybody outside. I think the 4 of us go on in.
Yep.
All right, you guys head in. This is the kind of the commercial entrance, so that there's more kind of plush stairs going up to the Statue of Liberty up to the top. And then as you get up to kind of as you would walk out onto the balcony, there is a ladder that's kind of got a chain gate over it, but it's been opened, and that clearly goes up to the torch where people aren't really meant to go up to. And from up there, you can hear people talking.
That's where we're going.
Fun little history lesson. You're not allowed to go up there because there was an explosion.
Let's see what we can hear.
So are you guys listening in?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
definitely listening.
So you can hear Sergeant James in his English accent, and you can hear Hicks, and Hicks is going, I mean, I'm happy to do it, but I mean, if I can get away, I can get away. If not, I wish you guys good luck. And you can hear Sergeant James kind of go, that I really appreciate that, soldier. You're doing a good thing here.
And I whispered to everyone, maybe, I mean, are we still cool with Hicks? Like, maybe we got to talk to him when he comes down.
Yeah, I get the sense that if we're going to find a weak link in this little conspiracy, it's gonna be Hicks. What do you think we wait down at the bottom where we're kind of not supposed to be, but not exactly here right now?
Yeah.
And let's see if we can't butter up Hicks if he comes down.
Let's keep guard, which we said we would do.
Exactly. Second shift.
All right, you guys head outside, and you're kind of keeping guard, and the sun is beginning to set. And as the sun begins to set, more and more of the people that are kind of on the island are heading up towards the ship. And there's only like a few army men and a couple of kind of there's some like kids, and they're just kind of like looking out towards the city. And the city is still on fire, and it's kind of now illuminating the bodies of the spiders as they kind of cling to the buildings. And as the kind of fire goes up into the sky, you can see the absence of stars where this country-sized tarantula is kind of hovering over the city. And oops, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, when we were coming down from Statue of Liberty, or when we got to the bottom, going back to our posts, did I see anything that looked like it was rigged, like to explode or set fire or anything
No.
here on island? Okay.
No, you saw quite a lot of electrical wires kind of going up to that, past that chain link door to that hatch into the torch, coming from the kind. There's kind of like some informational machines kind of hooked up, and it's coming from those. But other than that, there was no explosives. There was no other wires.
Okay.
So as the sun begins to set, finally, Sergeant James kind of comes out of the Statue of Liberty, and he shuts the door and he looks around and goes, "Oh, hey, where are the other guys?"
We took over their shifts.
Okay.
And, keeping a watch out. Let them have some apple pie as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys don't need to guard the space either. So I say we all go and get a good night's sleep. We'll be leaving in the morning.
It's Sergeant James, and I grab a cigar out of Vince's pocket, and I said, "Thad, it's real important to Thad that you get one of these, and then we've got one for Hicks. Where can we find Hicks?"
He takes the snapped cigar and goes, "Thanks, I guess. I don't really smoke, but I'll be sure to kind of give this to someone."
Well, we're going to be celebrating, right?
Yeah, when we shove off, we're gonna light these up. I take the other half out.
I mean, yeah, we will be celebrating. Hicks, I'm sure he's around here somewhere. He's probably on the ship. If you go and catch up with him.
Do we have a sense that Hicks could have gotten to the ship without getting past us?
No, this is the only entrance.
Okay. All right. I think we need to figure out. I guess we're gonna have to find out if Sergeant James there is going to let us stick around, and then we need to find Hicks. Before we do that, though, let's take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be right back. All right, Willow. We're trying to let Sergeant James kind of do his thing. We need to find Hicks.
Yeah. We'll join you on the boat in a little while. Just want to enjoy solid land for just a little bit more, because I think we'll be heading to Alaska, so that's via Cape, the Cape down all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're on that boat.
Yeah. What time
Yeah.
are we leaving? How long do we have?
I mean, we're leaving about. I think it's. He checks his watch and goes about 7 a.m.
Okay.
Just we'll make sure everyone's on before then.
So
We'll be
I
on the
start-
boat. No worries. Just
All right.
I
Just
start getting
just-
distance from James, like towards the entrance into Liberty, and I just kind of look back nonchalantly and I say, "You know what? I'd like to see my city one last time, so I'm going to go up the observation deck." And I just go right into Statue of Liberty. I want to take a look out.
he kind of doubles back and goes up the door and goes, yeah, just make sure you don't go up to the torch. There was quite a bad explosion there many years ago.
Got it. Go right up to the torch. Got it. And
No.
I run right in. I'm going in. Clank,
Well,
clank, clank, clank.
Don't worry,
he's a-
James. Don't worry, James. We'll
He's an
Well,
idiot,
well,
James.
okay.
I'll go get him, and I'm going to go in as well.
James just kind of like puts his hand on his head and goes, "Great, new recruits," and kind of heads off to the boat.
I'm
I
gonna head in
peek
after
the
the
door.
guys.
Yeah, peek the door in and wave him in Scooby Doo style.
All right, you guys, you head up to the torch.
Hicks?
Yeah, when you get up there, there's a sleeping mat unrolled in this kind of the observation area of the torch, and Hicks is kind of lying on it. He's reading a book. He's got like a little lamp set up, and around him there are like several kind of industrial grade laptops all opened, and they've all got different information on them. And then there's what looks like a demolition plunger in the center of all of them. And he kind of starts and like folds over the page and shuts the book and goes, "What you guys need to you guys need to get out of here right now. This is off limits. This is you guys need to get out of here. Go back to the ship. There's food on the ship."
There's apple pie on the ship as well, Hicks. We just wanted to make sure that you're on it as well. So what's
Yeah,
what's all this?
I'm sleeping up here tonight. Just don't worry about this. This is all classified. I can't really tell you about this. I'll come and get some apple pie in the morning.
Hicks?
Let's stop with this
it's the
classified.
apocalypse. You know what purpose do secrets have?
Hicks kind of
When-
like puts his hand on his face like that. And can I get a speech check?
Oh yes, definitely.
From
And
Jenny.
Jenny is going to, kind of awkwardly, she reaches out to I think to Joey or Barrett, to help her awkwardly sit down, because she's got a prosthetic leg.
Are there
sits down
wires
next to him.
attached to this plunger? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
And puts her hand on Hicks's shoulder and says, "You're not alone. We're here as well. What's going on?" So yeah, I'll do a speech check.
Yep.
I've got a speech of 5. I'll do 3 dice. Yeah. That is an 8, an 8, and a 1.
Okay.
So that's 16, 17, 21. And I hit 1 on the spider escape.
So as you kind of lower yourself down again, you slip a bit with your prosthetic leg, and it kind of shakes the bars of the observation, because this is out in the open. There's webs coming down, and the bars shaking causes all the webs kind of off into the distance. And let me just check the AP proximity. You notice that the web is now actually the shaking has caused the web to stop, and that the web is now moving ever so slightly on its own. Every now and again, it's going, and kind of shaking, free of a breeze or outside kind of intervention. And Hicks just does not notice. He goes, okay, look, truth is, I'm not going to be on that ship in the morning. I can't believe I'm saying this. We've rigged Manhattan to blow. We've put explosives in every single subway station. It's taken us pretty much the entire time we've been in the city. And when you guys leave in the morning, someone has to stay behind to remote detonate it. We don't have a way of detonating it from down in the ship. It has to be up here. The signal has to get through.
Hicks, what are these laptops connected to?
We've kind of turned the torch into a broadcasting device to hit every single one of those explosives. If they don't all go off at the same time, I mean, our hope is that the entirety of Manhattan will just fall into the earth. And that's that spider, and he points to the kind of the absence of stars. That will go with it.
Hey, Joey, what do you think when he says someone has to be here to do it? Looking at this setup, do you think we could put him on a timer? There's no reason for Hicks to sacrifice for everybody.
This just sounds crazy. There's got to be a way to do this without Hicks being here. I mean, give me a little bit of time, and I start looking at like the wires going around, wrapping around the torch, and how whatever they're doing to send out this radio signal, and
He goes, well, I mean, we didn't have an engineer. We had us and all of this tech here. We had no way to kind of finagle anything.
And then I look over and I see one of the
Short
computer
one, Joey
screens.
Hicks.
Yeah, I see one of the computer screens, and I'm like, that's because you guys are trying to use crazy programs. All you need is like Bluetooth, and my buddy in his basement the one time he was able to get like Mexican radio, and he didn't use like anything. Give me a few minutes. Give me a few minutes.
And I
Hello.
put a hand again. I squeeze his shoulder a bit. I'm like, if anybody can solve this and make sure that we're all on that boat, it's my friends. But I think it's so incredibly brave what you're willing to do for us all.
He kind of slumps over and he picks up his book, and you can see it's like an old detective novel, and he's like, man, I already read the end of the book because I assumed I was going to die up here.
There'll be more books on the ship, Hicks, and you're going to be on that ship.
And some of the best detectives, what the ending, who did it, and then you find out how it happens. Did you ever watch Columbo?
Yeah.
I love Columbo.
Yeah, I'm sure that seems like somebody who I'm sure he's got DVDs or something like that.
Joey climbs up on the railing and he's ripping this piece of electronics down out of the wires. Like, I don't even care about the wires. I just rip it down. And it's a signal booster attached to like a router. And I take my backpack, I start duct taping it to my backpack. And I'm like, Hicks, we're getting out of here. I got this. Just grab one of those laptops and we don't have to be here when this happens.
He kind of like, he looks like he's having second thoughts about it, and he's like, I mean, if you guys aren't right, I just deviated from my orders for no reason. The city doesn't go down, and I couldn't show my face on the ship after that.
Then we'll push you off we'll push you off. We'll make sure nobody sees you. But I think this is your best chance, Hicks.
I pull one of the rags out of the Molotovs of the high proof, and I hand it to him.
He takes a swig and goes, yeah, thanks. That actually really helped.
You can keep that one. It's good. I got plenty.
He takes another swig and goes, "Yeah, I wasn't going to give it back."
All right, I look at everybody. I'm like, let's do
Let's
this.
get on the ship. Let's blow this joint.
Let's get everybody and their stuff together.
Let's get out of here. And yeah, it always seems impossible until it's done.
And the
you
only thing
guys
I'll
always
ask,
do it.
the only thing I ask is that there is an A-team montage
All right.
of Joey, like, putting a screwdriver here and,
Oh,
and welding
without a doubt.
something.
All right.
and-
Yeah.
MacGyver.
Engineering montage.
I just like bend a laptop and rip the monitor off, and I just have the keyboard. I don't even need the monitor. I just have the keyboard.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how far you go when you edit these, but can I just ask that you put some like loyalty free kind of montage music right here? So like Joey's kind of like he's pulling down wires, and then there's like Hicks kind of like scratching his head, and he's got like a router, and then Joey picks it up and turns it around, and Hicks goes, "Ah!" And at the same time, I'd like a mind check from Joey.
Joey, I'm giving you a die.
You know what? Take a die from Hicks as well, because he's kind of helping.
Oh, excellent. All right, so I'll use 2 of my own. We'll use those 2. I see Bear, like I hand him a laptop, and he's looking at the bars, like walking around Liberty Island, like, all right, if we put it here, wait, no, not over here. I'm like, yeah, Bear, right there. Put it on the ground. That is 13, 14, 15. That is 20.
Okay.
And I have a 3. 1 3.
All right.
Bear, don't you have a way to stop the webscape?
Yeah, it's getting a little high. I was trying to figure out whether I was gonna hold off on my special bit. I think I'm gonna use it now, Willow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I see Joey. I see his elbow about to hit that web, and I just grab his elbow. So for those watching, I've got the hit him where it hurts once per encounter may cut the strand of a web, nullifying a single trip of the webscape once per encounter. So I'm going to stop Joey from tripping it.
All right. So yeah, during the montage, you're kind of getting quite animated as you're kind of like winding some wire, and you're about to hit that web. And Bear kind of pulls your elbow back, and again, no audio, just music and Bear's like. And you guys finish, and now the interior looks a lot kind of more like all the wires were kind of hanging everywhere before. Now they're very neatly kind of taped and duct tied and everything. There's cable management going on.
Excellent.
Cable management.
So yeah, if we're done here and feeling good about this, I think the 4 of us plus Hicks, we're gonna smuggle them on the boat.
Yep.
And as you guys finish, you can kind of you've been going all night. You can see the sun kind of coming up, and I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna take a die from each of your dice pools because you guys did not sleep last night.
Oh, right.
Okay,
That's a quick check. I've got 6 left.
I've got 2.
I've got 6.
I have 7.
Had?
I had 8. I got rid of 1. So I
Ah.
have 7. I only used 2 dice each time and succeeded. So
So Hicks kind of like wipes his brow and goes, "All right, well," and he kind of grabs the sleeping mat, rolls it up, and grabs his book and goes, "See you guys down at the ship, I guess." And he climbs down the ladder.
Going
Let's
back
get
to
to the boat.
B-52. Yep.
All right. You guys head back onto the ship. When you're on the ship, you can kind of see Sergeant James and Hicks are having a very animated discussion. And Sergeant James is going like, what was the main objective? And Hicks is kind of like pointing over to you guys and going and just telling him how that it's all okay. And I'm assuming you guys gave him like a transmitter to kind of activate this thing, and he's kind of showing it to him.
It was a
Sergeant
Game
James-
Boy.
And I look at the laptop that we took, and I set the timer for when all this was going to go down. And the problem is, I didn't realize they were using military time, and I put in regular, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to happen like right away. And I close the laptop, and I just look at Bear.
Hey, Vince,
You can tell, like, I'm starting to sweat. Like, I'm like,
hey, Vince. Can you find your buddy Thad and see if we can't maybe push off a little bit earlier?
yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I look over to Vince. I'm like, and I
I
open
drop
the
my
screen
backpack
again.
and I just
I turn it to him. You know, like how when the countdown happens, it's like a couple of minutes. Like you just see a single digit, colon, and then 2 numbers, and it's spinning.
All right, so in the early morning, the light is kind of just gleaming over the city. You can see all of the webs kind of lighting up. The fires have kind of all but died down now. And you've got that the kind of the morning music happening. All of the people are now on the ship, and the military are kind of pulling up the gangplank. And the ship is kind of, you can hear the engines kind of starting up. And then one after another, the city just explodes. Each major subway station detonating, and the city begins to crumble. And you can see that the earth itself is falling into a pit the size of the Grand Canyon. And the ocean is starting to pour in after it. And the great black spider, the one above, sort of looming in the horizon, stumbles and then falls into the gaping chasm left by New York. And there's these legs and bodies all swirling around with buildings and cars. And you can kind of see like a skyscraper start to crumble, and the spider's running up the skyscraper away from the water, but the skyscraper just hits into the water, and the water is pouring into the hole in the planet, and it begins to drag the ship, and it kind of hits into Liberty Island, and everyone falls on deck, and you can hear like a chug noise, and then the ship begins to kind of push itself away, but it's not moving. It's like kind of moving on the spot as the torrent of water is getting pulled into New York.
Off the ship.
I don't think we can get to no. Like,
I think
it's just
I
gonna-
think this ship is our only ticket out. We need to start chucking stuff off the ship to make it lighter, so that we can move, so that we can get ahead. The ship's too heavy.
I think we need to drop anchor. Get Earth to hold us down into this position to keep getting drug into this thing.
Vince, what's the problem right now is the Earth. It's going that way.
We need to start throwing stuff out the back.
Like me.
And well, no.
Is Liberty still standing there?
The Liberty Island has like half of it has been dragged into the ocean, and the Statue of Liberty is teetering like it's the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
All right.
That would have been you, Hicks. Point up there. Let's go up to the control room.
Hicks goes, "What happened to the timer?"
It worked a bit too soon.
It was.
Let's get up to the tower. Let's get one of the cranes and start throwing stuff off. We need to get out of here. Full steam ahead.
Hicks goes, the controls, they're up in the control room. They're not in the there's nothing in the tower.
Okay, let's go to the control room.
You head up there, and Thaddeus is like, he's got the throttle on the boat, and he's just holding it against the wall, and he's going, "What in blazes? What?" And he turns and he goes, "Hey, I need," and he like gestures to the army man, and he's like, I need anyone to go down to engine room B. There is there seems to be a problem," and he's like tapping the orange light. "I just don't have enough power."
This is Joey's
start
time to
running.
shine.
I start running.
All right. Anyone going with you, or
Oh, Bear's
yes.
going with him.
Yes. I need someone to go with me. What
So
is
you guys
everyone
get-
else doing though? I look back like
I'm gonna look at Thaddeus and say, "Do we start throwing stuff overboard? Will that help?"
are you kidding me? That's my supplies.
I look at
Well-
Vince and he knows what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, Vince is going straight for the crane controls. I'm going to go find the operator booth, and I'm going to start getting boats off this thing so at least we can get off and go our own separate way if we need to.
He
It's
turns.
all
And he goes,
supplies are all good and well if you live.
he turns and he goes, "Okay, there are 16 boats in those crates. Leave the white one."
Sure enough, throw up.
Oh, had a little blip there. Connection. You guys can
Yeah, we
hear
still
me?
got. We have you.
Yep, we're good. We see.
Alright.
We're good.
So as you guys are like running out, like this door, this kind of sliding door opens, and you can see what looks to be Thaddeus's sleeping quarters, kind of connected to control, and there's a walk-in closet, and there's several exactly identical white suits cascading out of the closet.
Big surprise.
Um,
All right, we got to turn amber green, Joey.
Yep. So I'm running down. Bear's right behind me. As soon as we get into the engine room, I fling the door open. I see a
All
couple
right, hang
of
on,
guys in
hang
there.
on,
I'm
hang on,
sorry.
hang on.
Oh.
So you go down several flights of stairs.
Spiders.
And you actually several flights of stairs, and you actually pass what looks like a chemistry lab. And as you get to the corridor to the engine room, you see that there is a large hole in the side of the ship, and there is webbing kind of coming in from the hole. It's just above waterline, but you can see ocean water, kind of the angle of the ship now is causing ocean water to seep down into the passageway. And there's kind of these thick webs, and they run kind of down the hallway. And the engine room door is open, and it's kind of slamming and opening. And inside you can see 20 hosts, all just kind of standing and swaying with the ship. And their eyes and their mouths are black from poison, and their bloated bodies are sagging under their own weight. And behind them at the back, you can see the engine, and it's spitting and simmering. And there's a lever kind of next to it with the word "keep up" written, like on a plaque, and it has dropped way below where it says "keep up" and is shaking under the pressure of the machine.
I'm going to turn to you, Joey. I'm going to say, don't argue with me. I'm going to reach into your backpack, pull out that plumber's wrench that you had in there, and I'm going to run towards those hosts, gauging like how close do I need to be to get their attention, but I can still run away. And I'm just going to take the wrench and start hitting the side of the metal hull just to get their attention and go, here, over here.
Okay, we're gonna without any check, we're gonna pop the host proximity table all the way up to 5. So the hosts, they all turn in the direction of the noise, and they will start stumbling out of the room after you. And there are small spiders like crawling out of their mouths. They're kind of scurrying away into the ship and down into the engine, and they're kind of reaching out for the noise. You get all 20 hosts, and they are coming down the corridor after you.
Follow me, you fat fox.
So I put the half a cigar I still have in my mouth, and I light it. I salute Bear. I see what he's doing. I salute him. I light my cigar, and then I take 2 of my bottles out, and I light each of the rags with my cigar. And I have 2 bottles in my hand that the fire's going up the rags.
Please also do the switch for me, please.
I got it. I
Okay.
got it. You're gonna cut to the other people while this is happening?
Yeah, sure. We cut back to the engine room. We see we've got.
I need a second to think.
Yeah, we've got Vince and Jenny, and they're both in the engine room, and Thaddeus is kind of holding that lever forward. And at the engine room, not the engine room, sorry, the control room, and you can see there's a wide window that sort of shows you the front of the ship, and you can see that rises out of the water is a large water spider, and it kind of puts two legs down on the front of the ship, and the ship was up in the air trying to get away from New York, and it's so strong it pushes the ship downwards, so it's kind of leveled out.
And I think Vince had just attached one of the heavier containers to the crane to throw it off.
Yeah, baby.
And I pointed out, and I'm like, hit it with the hit it.
Yeah.
You know, if you can swing it around and hit
I
the
boom
spider.
left, and I'm trying to hit this thing like a
Yeah.
carnival claw game.
Okay, give me give me an agility check for the crane.
Okay. I'm pretty good at agility. I'll do 3 die. No, I'll do 4. 3 die. No, 3 die. Oh my god, 2 8s and a 6.
Oh, that's good.
20?
Yeah.
And no web scope.
Yeah.
Oh, plus
Yeah,
5 is my agility.
Yeah, you whack this the crate. It's already got a crate on it, and it whacks into the side of the spider, and the crate comes open, and just several like motorbikes kind of ride out of the crate into the spider's head with like a donk 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 donk, and the spider kind of like moves away from the ship and lets go, and the ship kind of the righted ship then goes straight up in the air. And the spider's kind of like staggering away from the ship. It's clearly standing on the bay floor.
I go look at Vince and I look at Thad. You want the boats to go before the motorbikes? Are you freaking kidding me? And so I'm starting to just throw more of these containers off, minus the beams and the harpoon guns that I know are the locations of. I'm going to start just chucking as many of those things off, try to get the weight off while throwing more stuff.
Direct them at the spiders. There's another one. There's another one. You can hit it.
So you like move the crane over like a green and white striped container, and Thad goes, "Not that one, not that one."
Which gives me more reason to do it. I get rid of that one.
As it goes flying through the air, it opens, and inside is is several farm animals. And they kind of like a cow kind of tries to clamber out of the flying crate midair, and it just smashes into the spider.
Worst Noah's Ark ever.
The farm animals.
Oh well, perhaps listen to which ones he says not, but yeah. Can't we get any more power?
The boat is now starting to right itself because of the lost weight. Cut back to the engine room.
Come back to the engine room. So some of the spiders are cleared. What am I looking at in the engine room?
So there's now like a host kind of lying on its side. It's kind of like it's clawing at the ground, trying to get in the direction of the clanging sound. But all the other hosts have kind of made their way down the corridor, and they are chasing after Bear. The host that's lying on its side is across the doorway to the engine room that's kind of opening, and it's like closing on its leg.
I take one of the bottles and I just shove it into its disgusting body where all the spiders crawled out, and I'm assuming it goes in there with a smush or a crunch.
Yeah, the flesh is pretty rotten
from the inside. Yeah.
Like these people are still alive, but the gangrene has kind of spread across their whole body. It's like pushing into a wet pumpkin.
Oh, awesome, delicious.
That was too descriptive.
I'm gonna scrub that. I'm gonna scrub that hand extra later if I survive.
And as you push it in, spiders start pouring out from between the flesh and up the bottom.
Well, that's great. Some are up my arm. I fling them off, and you hear them hit the metal of the side, and I guess I just run into the room, and I guess I have to maneuver this piece of machinery to figure this out. I assess the issue. So I want to know if I could figure this out.
Okay, so give me a mind check.
All right. This one's
Also, sorry,
important.
what's happening with the host? Is it on fire or?
I don't know. I put
All right.
the Molotov in there. If I got to put on fire, I'll kick it with my shoe.
All right. So the
break the bottle inside of it.
All right. So give me that mind check.
I'm gonna go with 4 dice for this. Uh, 11, 14, 15, 16. That's a 21, and I have a 3. 1, 3.
All right. So I put you to 5 on the host proximity. I'm gonna jot you up to 6. So the host distinctly hears you kind of moving the controls about, and it pulls itself to its feet, and there is now a host. There is a host standing behind you. There are spiders pouring out of it. The spiders are kind of crawling up your legs. A few of them bite you, taking a damage. Take away a dice. But the host has just got a Molotov sticking out of its stomach, and the spiders are kind of pouring out from where the Molotov is kind of burning away. Like you when you hit into a spider sack and the babies all kind of start pouring out.
Flip the switch, Joey.
Well, I just did my mental check. I know how to do it
Yep.
now.
So you have worked out this machine.
21.
You have worked out to move the switch up to keep above this line. So as soon as you do that, the engine roars into life. The fire inside physically gets much larger, and you feel the whole ship jerk as it rights itself and just starts moving. The host slams into the wall, causing the Molotov to explode, and fire spreads across it.
Excellent.
Cut back to the
cut back
to the control room. You guys go directly into the water spider, and you almost go up it like a ramp. If a ramp was a spider and the go-kart was a giant boat, and there's a few seconds of airtime before the boat slams back into the water, and everyone falls over, and it is like Thaddeus has been holding this in go, and you guys are heading out to sea. And Thaddeus kind of stands up and he goes, whew, boy, howdy. Cigar, anyone?
Go big or go home. Well, or go to Alaska, I suppose. I'll
Cut
have a
back to the
drink.
engine room. Tell you what, cut back to Bear. So Bear, you are.
Yeah, he's running down the
So,
halls of
I've
spiders.
been running. I've been hitting the wrench up against the wall, and left, right, but making sure that I don't lose them. I want to keep as many of them with me as possible, as far away from Joey as possible. And we see me take one right turn to a dead end, and I turn around, watching these hosts just lumber themselves into the hallway, starting to fill the hallway whereas my dead end is. And that's when, out of my camo jacket, I took one of the Joey's Molotovs. And as soon as they're close enough, there's going to be 21 bodies. And I'm going to light it and take us all down.
All right, you light the Molotov, you throw it at the ground. It spreads across the ground from the scattered alcohol. It goes up these hosts and ignites them. It goes up your legs and ignites you. Take 3 points of damage. And the hosts are writhing, and then from behind the hosts, you hear like a and Freddy's standing there with 2 separate fire extinguishers. And he goes, you look like you could use a hand. And he kind of puts out all of the hosts. The spiders are dead. The hosts are charred. Your legs are charred. And he kind of steps over the crumbling bodies and discards the fire extinguishers and reaches into his jacket and pulls out a bag and hands it to you and goes, "You look like you could use a trip," and hands you a bag of mushrooms.
With my 3 hit points left, I run up and we get to see Bear give Freddy the biggest bear hug that he's ever given him. And I grab both sides of his head and I kiss him on the mouth. And then I take a handful of mushrooms and stuff them into my face.
Yeah. So cut back to the engine room. The walls are now on fire.
Yeah.
The host is
spiders everywhere. The host.
Yeah, there's most of them are on fire, but they're small like points of fire that are moving around on the ground.
So I look back to the engine fire door, and I look down the hall, and I look in what's going on in here, and I shut the door, and I close it, so I'm in the engine room. I then look at the wall, and every good engine room has a hose, has a fire hose that pumps seawater. So I'm going to attempt to fight the fire in there, me and the flaming spiders and the hose.
All right, give me a body check.
Yeah. So I have 3 dice left. I'm going to roll all 3 dice.
Okay.
And as I succeed, I get 1 back, and I'm good.
Yep.
That would be just on the dice alone. I have 16, and I have none of those numbers, so I'm good.
Okay. All right.
So I have 1 die left.
You manage to you pull down the hose. You kind of turn it on, and the rush of seawater is torrential. It throws you around the engine room, and you kind of smack into the wall. You manage to put out the spiders. You put out the host. They stop moving, and the engine room sort of fills up to about waist height before you can kind of wrangle this hose and turn it off. But the fire is out. The spiders have all either drowned or died from fire.
Are we in the clear, Willow?
You are in the clear. You are on your way to Alaska.
So I would like to try something. Willow, you can say no to this. Can we cut to 5 years from now and each of us say what happened and what we're doing?
All right. So fade out, cut to 5 years later. We see Freddy. He's on a small farm in Alaska. He's kind of scattering some grain to some chickens. We see a very old looking cat kind of come up to the porch and kind of go and Freddy kind of pets the cat and sits down with his grain and takes like a very dubious looking cigarette out and kind of lights it up. What is everyone else doing?
I want Joey to go first.
So Joey has opened a pizza place. It's a hut, but it's a pizza place. He makes the dough from whatever barley, grain, strange wheat that they have. But it's not the pizza that everybody loves. It is the amazing moose sausage that is on his pizza. It's his grandmother from the old country's recipe for sausage. So it's moose sausage pizza, and it says New York style on his hut. And that's Joey.
So we see Bear, and I'm by myself in a cabin, and I'm kind of looking up at the ceiling a little bit, and I go, yeah, it's time. And you see me pull a large rolled up sheet of paper, and I spread these plans out onto the table, and we take a shot of the plans, and you can see my plans for building a bunker under my cabin.
So Vince, when he sets foot on land and feels that comfort, he was so focused on urban parkour, he doesn't know what to do in a rural area, and so he gets into rock climbing, and he dies 4 months after setting foot onto land in safety because he does not know how to rock climb. But he died trying.
And I think you can see Jenny, who is running, or running with her. She's got her special. I think Joey made it for her special running prosthetic leg.
Awesome.
And she's running with a pizza box, 2 pizza boxes actually. You can see her running down this road that's, and alongside the road you can see a hut, a cabin where you can see Freddy sitting there, and just about 200 meters further is the cabin where you can see where Bear is, and she's just running up the path with 2 pizza boxes.
Yeah.
For her.
So
you always
Freddy...
get pizza. You always get free pizza from Joey's. That's fine.
So Freddy kind of waves, and then the cabin door opens, and Hicks comes out, and he goes, "Hey, breakfast is ready." And Freddy goes, "Yeah, I'm just feeding the chickens." Next door to the Pizza Hut, no affiliate.
It's just the hut. We serve pizza. That's it.
Yeah. Is Barb's famous apple pie shop. And behind the counter is an old man, George. He's kind of selling apple pies. There's not many customers in there, but the ones that are in there are really enjoying the pies. And on the wall behind him is a picture that says "In loving memory of Barb," with a picture of Barb. Cut to Miami. There are several spiders the size of skyscrapers, kind of all in a circle in a main street, and a man with 2 flamethrowers, cowboy boots, and a Stetson kind of steps up into the street and goes, I hate Miami.
It's too hot.
I love it.
It's too damn hot. And then he just starts firing the flamethrowers.
That's great.
Amazing. We're going to go to credits. We'll be back on the other side. All right. So real quick, we're going to keep this relatively short. One quick call I want to make is the technique that we saw Willow do between episode 2 and 3. I'm a huge fan of that technique, which is taking this break and just pushing time forward. I think from a pacing standpoint, as a GM, don't be afraid to cut out the boring parts, right? Don't be afraid to just change scenes and move to the next thing. It's something that I think you're starting to see built into more and more games mechanically. They talk about focusing on from scene to scene to scene. So I was a huge fan of that. Number two, I want to talk all about Willow's games, including WebWorld. But before we do that, we have one question in the chat that I want each of us to get to, and then we'll go to Willow. So starting with you, Nick, we're going to all answer the same one. And the question to all players from Rosu is, what aspect of this RPG do you find the most interesting?
The webscape for me is that constant, every time you roll, something bad can happen. And whether you hit that number or not, and then it just builds, and you have to, there's more webscape numbers. That was the thing that I didn't realize was something I loved until I sat here and got to play it with y'all. So thank you for the opportunity.
Naomi?
I'm going to have to second that, and you've got it for the webscape. You've got for the hosts as well, the AP. Yeah, really love that, and the various character specialties. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Like a wet pumpkin.
Lou?
Obviously, it's going to be a trifecta for the webscape, but I'll go one further and say it's not just the webscape; it's the staring at the amount of dice you have, wondering how many you want a chance to increase the webscape, including you trying to get a success. So I like staring at it and, bargaining with myself.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I mean, it would have been very easy for us, even with all the dice we were chucking, to have failed on these. We got really lucky, both in the last episode and this episode. But it's the push your luck aspect of this that I think it kind of captures the whole thing for me. And I talked about a little bit at the end of episode 2. It's one of the few times I see mechanical tension, where there's mechanics built into the game to create that tension. Another game that does it, but it's not nearly as elegant as this, is the Alien RPG. Also, with the way that their stress system works, also it just has this built-in mechanic to create that tension. But I love the elegance of this, which is honestly, Willow, what turned me on the first time I read this, and it made me say, I need to get him on the podcast. And by the way, for those of you watching, we've got Willow and I recorded a second episode that we're going to talk about some more of his games. So speaking of which, Willow, everybody who's been watching who needs to pick up WEBWORLD RPG, where do they go?
They go to my Ko-Fi shop, which is, I will get in 1 second. It is ko-fi, so fi, ko-fi.com/neonrot, that's NEONROT /shop, and you can physically buy things from me there. If not, there's a link in there to my itch.io where you can get stuff digitally if you like the sort of digital side of it instead.
So Willow, can we quickly talk about the game that you and I talked about on our podcast, and then also the game that you're just fulfilling now?
Yeah. I'm actually fulfilling 2 at the moment. So the one I talked about on the podcast, BDSM, or Below Dwelling Sewer Mutants, is I call it sludge punk. It's an 80s schlocky mutant hyper-colored RPG. Got this sort of very kind of radioactive colors, the greens, the purples, and you play horrific mutants in a sewer system that is your world. There's no above world. Don't worry about that. Your world is the sewer system. There are towns there in the forms of cisterns and mutants that will give you quests. But also, it's a very kind of mutant eat mute world. So anything you come across is either dinner, lunch, or can do something for you.
It's super, and go check it out, those of you who are watching, because just like with WEBWORLD, Willow has made it very mechanically interesting. Willow does a very good job of melding those two together. And then on the way in the mail to me is what?
Bone Bout. So Bone Bout is essentially if you take Punch Out, the video game, and turn it into an RPG. So you're all in a big tournament. You're boxing. You have special moves that you can do in battle. Battle is 1v1 with a tag out, tag in system that's very kind of fast paced. So you don't want to take a lot of damage. You want to keep tagging out to your partners because one person dies, the entire team loses. So you need to keep that tag in, tag out system. And the twist is you're all skeletons. So you're all boxing skeletons with special kind of cartoony rubber hosey type moves. Like maybe you're collect free marrow. So like your stars in Punch Out, you collect free marrow and Punch Out in Bone Bout. And then you might bake a pie for your opponent right in the middle of the ring and then distract them and then sock them in the head.
Amazing.
It's Barb the skeleton.
So this is not the last time we're going to have one of Willow's games on the channel. Willow, I really appreciate you running this game for us. I had a blast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, this
Thank
has
you
been
so much.
great for me as well.
Good. All right. Take care, all. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.